The CS news just keeps on coming in. What is up, peeps? Welcome back to the channel. If I missed anything, make sure to leave a comment down below. What's the craziest thing you have seen so far? What are you guys thinking about all of these new rosters? Of course, PGL Bucharest is now also underway, but so too a lot of information comes out around what we've already talked about this past weekend, that being the ongoing Falcons transfer of Monesy. Yes, he is set to leave G2. That is all but happening and all but closed. In the next few weeks, he will be set to join and, of course, be replacing Dexter on that lineup ahead of the Austin Major, which is crazy in itself. We now have rumors, thanks to Overdrive, around the amounts of that transaction, which will be set to be one of, if not the biggest counterstrike transaction of all time at around $2.5 million. A lot of people a long time ago were wondering. Of course, we have Nico's rumored salary we talked about. What is it, like $70,000, $80,000 a month? Don't quote me on that, but it's in that area that is ridiculously sounding. And so, of course, when it comes to buyout amounts, you were wondering what amount would G2 need to let him go for the second major of the year. And now we find out he'll be leaving before the first major. And that to me was like shocking. I thought for sure he'd be there through half of the year and then back half prep for the second major. I think a lot of people would probably agree with that. I don't know what you guys were thinking, but $2.5 million Falcons directly into G2's pocket to get Monesy off that roster, which he was going to be off in like 6 to 8 months anyway. What a bag. And G2, what are they going to do with that bag? That is the big question. And then we also find out from Overdrive, allegedly, right? But he's got some generally good knowledge in the scene, and so you're probably in the right place. If Monesy is around $2 to $2.5 million for that buyout, simply right there, that is around and actually greater than the amount that Aurora paid for the entire Eternal Fire lineup. Yes, a top 10, slightly closer to top 5 lineup in the entire world, all for the price of less than Monesy. That is actually absurd. I didn't think I had to clarify this, but of course their salaries will exceed that of young Monesy because once you buy out that team, then you also have to pay the players, right? So I didn't think that had to be clarified, but just in case you guys were wondering, Monesy's salary individually will not exceed the entire team of now Aurora as they take on Eternal Fire, but strictly talking about the buyout amounts, that is just such a crazy comparison to make. And we even had the G2 CEO kind of seemingly confirm the rumor mill as he also took to Twitter. And by the point of me recording, he has not expanded on this, but once he does, I'm sure we'll share his thoughts, as Albin had this to say, I believe, about the Monesy rumors, saying, what a lovely day not to be on socials. Need to wait for some deadlines to talk, but I will come back to you next week with our side of the story and our plans for the future. And of course, this seems to be about Monesy because, what are their plans for the future going to be in their side of the story about all of this, probably why they decided to do this before the first major of the year, and what will be a big blow to G2, a G2 who is already clearly struggling this year. Best finish so far is a top 6, and even then dominated by Mouse in doing so. So we'll see what that side of the story is. It does get you excited to what the rebuild is going to be like for G2. You got to remember these guys know how to play CS. They know how to make rosters. And so I'm hoping nothing but the best. And now you look at a Falcons as well, what Monesy is about to step into. I mean, I'm a North American guy, so this made me pretty happy. I'm not going to lie. Is just shortly after, I believe 24 to 48 hours after the rumor announced that Monesy would be joining Falcons, you have Falcons being swept by complexity. Like, I don't think a lot of people would have saw that coming. Of course, the most common response saying this is what you're leaving G2 to go into. But part of me is also like, for so long now, the morale on the Falcons lineup of always having someone know that they're leaving the roster has to really kill the mood at certain points. Maybe that's just me making conclusions about how players play. That's possible, but it can't be great over in base camp, over in Falcon territory. But for complexity to take them down, hey, that is not what you typically expect. So yeah, it's been a wild week. It will continue to probably be so, but I hope you guys all enjoy. We were going back and forth. We were just in Washington. I can now tell you guys, I was over at Bungie Studios to talk with them about their new game. It's an extraction shooter called Marathon. If you guys want that full interview, it'll be probably posted soon to our gaming interview channel, which will be linked down below. And then if you guys are also RuneScape fans, I talked to one of their devs about Dragon Wilds, which is their open world co-op survival game coming soon. We want to do more of that content over on the main channel and our interview channel. So if you guys are interested, I'll be linking those down below. And if you guys have any creators, streamers, or players you want me to talk to for the interview channel, make sure to also leave a comment. You might as well reach out. But until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you back here sometime soon with more Counter-Strike news. Okay, bye-bye.